All right, good evening. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. So what we're going to do, we're going to put on our intro video, Jody. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live. We stream it live from Mott Branch Library, and we talk about the things that we were doing last week, the African American Festival and other things.
That was 2 weeks ago. But
all right, okay, all right. I'm a little bit behind. I'm still buffering. Thanks a lot. the things that we got that we have going on right now, which is the person that we're going to be interviewing, and then some of the things we got coming up in the future. We're going to put up our flyer for the Sonya Massey community vigil that's happening this weekend. Who am I? I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, and also I'm a registered and active member of the Nation of Islam, and I'm going into my 33rd year. All right, since I told him I want to be a Muslim. How do you get an X? Where's the bean pies and where's the bow ties? Here we are, 33 years later, getting it in. And CSRN, that was the idea of Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bay 10 years ago, and then we're doing our 10-year victory lap, Jody, this year. 10 years ago, they had an idea of community solidarity where just anyone can speak truth to power. You didn't necessarily have to be a pastor, preacher, politician, or professional. Get yourself a bullhorn like we have, some facts, and just get out there and make it happen. And what am I wearing today? I have on kind of a burgundy t-shirt, V-neck, my brown hat. I've got my brown rim glasses. I lost them. I found them. They were right in the laundry room because that's my designated job at home. All right. I was
going to say we're going to have to call Optio.
Yeah, and get some more. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting and protecting all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And we're going to try to get through our mission statement, guiding principles, because we have a dynamite guest today. So, Jody, if you can introduce yourself. You got on a different shirt today, as you should. All right, but kind of different, but kind of the same. Who you are, what are you wearing, and then we'll get right into the mission statement.
All righty. What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, Child of the System, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization, and the guy, I guess, behind all the art and poetry and the stuff that makes us very, very different from other organizations or grassroots foundations, because I'm one of the elements that make sure we're not just clipping news clips or resharing posts or trying to trigger you with anything. I have tried to build the organization, I guess, over the last decade through art, through healing, through, yes, speaking up loud and protest and all that stuff. But what do you do when the protest's gone? What do you do?
That's a good question.
When our jobs literally are to work ourselves out of a job? If I'm doing my job effectively, then hopefully at some point I should not have to do it at all. Same reason for churches and all that stuff is that you're supposed to make your community better to the point it doesn't need you anymore. And then you evolve. Like we used to have in-person meetings and do a lot of protests and demonstrations, but we've evolved into talking to everybody else in the community to find out what they do, how they are. We are an in-person, not gossip, not topic, not opinion show. We are probably one of the few shows that give people 15, 20 minutes of their time to talk. And that is the experience you get when you come here. I guess what I'm wearing.
Yeah, what are you wearing?
Not much
Let's get to that part. All right.
Than what you guys always see me wear. I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from meeting people through this amazing journey I've been able to live. The stuff around me, you see, are gifts or places that I've been that I've made sure to buy stuff because I may never go back there again. A lot of them I don't. Thinking about going back to Japan, but that's so far off into other things and programming. I have stuff going on now that, I got a black double hoodie thing on that always carries other stuff that nobody ever sees. I'm wearing an E-Bunny shirt from when we had that parade and all that stuff that people may have forgotten about as time floats on and everything. And the reason why we discuss this stuff with you, because we know that you may not actually be looking at the screen. We also have a Spotify. Is it Spotify?
It's Spotify.
So all you're going to see is our
kick
voice.
us off of that. Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
It gives a way for you to trust the person behind the voice or the camera. We're not AI generated, anything like that. We're actually people who come into this studio every single week, set it up, tear it down, and then we go home and do the other stuff throughout the community. But how do you get to this point? If you have a grassroots organization, something, again, some people don't even dedicate themselves to 90 days of things. And we've given 10 years of our life to trying to make our community better. You start with a foundation and
our guiding principles.
Yep. And those are like our
Yeah.
walls that when me and Brother Washington or whoever else you might see out in the community that we sponsored or promoted or tried to uplift, not there anymore. They have a guideline. They have some foundation and footsteps to follow in. So this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right. Now, before you started the mission statement, I think you said one of the most baller things I've ever heard.
I've heard that word a long time.
I'm thinking, well, how do you say you're old without saying you're old? All right. You said I'm thinking of going back to Japan.
Yes.
All right. I'm thinking about going back to Bowling Green. All right. So that's what's up. Hey, also later on, we got to talk about this this poster in back of us because our setup has changed. We're on the B camera right now, so they can't see it. They can just hear us.
You can kind of get a sneak peek if you squint, turn your head to the left of our studio audience that's coming in a moment.
Right. Now, these are our guiding principles. We picked these up in 2015 at the Movement for Black Lives convening in Cleveland.
We just had the anniversary of that.
Yeah, I saw that in my memories. Yeah. All right. And in my Facebook memories, not I'm thinking of, I'll be thinking about that stuff. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, family. I think about us, all right, all the time. And part of this conference, they had guiding principles, and we took it, kind of remixed it, and made it our own.
For us, what our community looks like.
Right. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And I think it's important to have guiding principles since this is, I wouldn't call us a protest group.
No.
But it's a lot of strong personalities.
Yeah.
And how do you keep all of that, together? Because I know what I'm doing and I want things done my way. You know what you're doing and you know how you want things and, and all the rest of us. And our guiding principles kind of brings things together that so that we don't come apart at the seams as we've seen other folks do.
It's kind of like a checklist, an accountability list.
Yeah.
You'll know very quickly if anybody's on board or, they phase out and stuff like that because it's something that becomes routine to you. And if it's not, that's okay. Like we've had members come and go that have started great organizations and everything like that. It's not necessary. We're not a platform, but, a grounding stage to where you get all of that stuff at once and you float to your little pockets of people like in high school. And
plus, you'll know when we roll up on you and check you. All right.
Right.
You might get a hint then. All right.
And even in that, it allows us to check our members or ourselves privately versus going on social media and being like,
that's right.
Yep, check rules.
All right.
This is why we're here.
All right. Hey, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with our special guest. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library, and we talk about the things that we've done last week, or as Jody said, that was 2 weeks ago. Some of the stuff we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up in the future. As always, with our special guests, we ask the question, who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Oh, well, my name is Toy Creel. What am I wearing? I have on a pale green maxi dress with double straps.
All right. Okay.
And what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about you.
Okay. All right. All right. We weren't ready for that, Jody. All right. We had it on the script as something else. All right. And I wanted to talk to you about, we've been going over your Facebook page and what you do as a content creator. Some of us know you. Some of us know you as a journalist. That's Jody trying to shake me. All right. Some of us know you as a journalist. Some of us know you as a mom. How do you put all that together, and which one comes first?
Ultimately, God comes first.
Okay.
I use faith. I'm Christian. I use faith as a way to navigate so many different things, but my business, my career, my motherhood, I would say second. In this season, business and my career has had to come first, but I always make sure that I'm finding time for balance because I know like I'm kind of in grind season. So motherhood, but my son's well-being is always going to come second. So that means, is he fed? Is he emotionally stimulated? Does he have fun social outlets? Does he have fun time with friends? Even though he's 3.
Okay. Hey, we got to start. We got to start somewhere. Why not? Why not 3? I wanted
to start somewhere.
When I first met you, I saw you on television as a journalist. Yeah. When did you realize that you could do that?
Ooh, child, my mama, our mother's so amazing. She was like, I did not know what I wanted to be in terms of college. And she goes, have you ever thought about getting in journalism? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, try it. And I was like, okay. And then that was it.
Just like that?
Just like that. I'd always gotten selected for a church play or a speaking engagement or a program. And so I think she saw and nurtured that spirit in me before pretty much anyone else did.
All right. And then from there, I saw, was it BCSN? All right. Was it BCAN?
That is my latest.
Okay. All right. What is the name of it? Did I get that name right?
You almost got it right. You were. Okay. It's sort of it's kind of hard to like explain sometimes to people, but it's BCSN. Is the overall like Buckeye Broadband Company. So the sports side is BCSN, Buckeye Community Sports Network, and the art side, the art and community highlighting changemaker piece is BCAN, and that's where I rock over. So I'm a host and producer over at BCAN currently.
Okay, so what is BCAN? If you can explain it in 1,000 words or less.
1,000 words? Yeah, that's a lot of words to explain it.
Well, we got time. We got what is finesse 2 times? Does he say no? That's the other one. I got time today. All right. So, all right. So we got time today. All right. What is BCAN?
BCAN is Buckeye Community Arts Network. So it is a place where we highlight local artists in a variety of mediums, but also change makers. And what's so cool about the work that I do there is it's very creative and autonomous to me, but also I am the host of an upcoming show, August 25th. It airs at 8 p.m. only on BCAN. It is called Be Well. So I am the host of a show called Be Well.
Okay. All right. I know that you met a lot of interesting people. Does a few of them stand out that you've interviewed and learned about? If so, if you don't mind giving up some names, who are those interesting people?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple different people. I talked with Terry Crews, which is nice. I was born in Flint, Michigan. He's from Flint. Seeing that tie. Regina King. So amazing talking to an Oscar winner. She smelled incredible.
Hold on, Jody. I thought she was going to talk about the guy down the street. She's talking about real people. We are not worthy. All right. We need to put our stuff down now. All right. That is awesome.
Master P. Yeah.
Okay. How do you do that without being nervous, without feeling like, wow, you're this, how do you keep your cool and interview at the same time? Because I don't know if I can do it.
I think it's just recognizing that people are people. You know what I mean? Like you put on your drawers or your pants, same way I do,
Okay.
and so does Jody, and so does all the pieces.
We would hope so.
This
All
is
right.
a regular person. That's what I tell myself whenever I get my nervies, like my little bubbles in my tummy.
Okay.
So it's just a regular person.
Just a regular person.
It's a regular person.
All right. So let's go on. I want to move on to before we're done. There's something that we do with gratitude. We're not going to ask now, but 3 things that you're grateful for, and we're going to talk about self-care. If there's something that you do for self-care, I want to bring up some pictures that I was scouring the internet.
Scouring is such a good word.
Yeah, and
scour.
And we were looking at your pictures. I think it's going to come up on the screen this hopefully in a couple of seconds or so.
Oh, you pulled them out the archive, huh?
Yeah, we digging in the crates. So it's a picture right here.
Nice.
Yeah, where was this picture taken? What were you thinking?
I was thinking I'm going to be a boss lady. I'm the founder and CEO of a creative marketing agency called the Toy Monet Agency. This is one of my brand pictures. I think in general, when you take, I am familiar with professional photography. I did some modeling when I lived in LA.
Okay.
And still do sometimes on occasion. But I think when you've got a place or, when you want to take pictures that represent your brand or something you're passionate about, whether it's a podcast, you want it to look powerful, but you also want to feel good and feel styled well. So that outfit to me is like, that's my boss outfit. I'm like, whew, I got it.
How did you get that look? Where are you looking? It's like I'm looking over there.
Yeah. I turned my head and then I looked over there.
Okay. All right.
Just like this.
Now something's coming up tomorrow, Instagram and idolatry.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
What we were going through, Jody was like, pick that one. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. He said, good. That'll be the one. All right. Instagram and idolatry. What is it? What can we expect?
What can you expect? So idolatry, it's a term so I talk a lot about faith, but a lot of Christians use when it's basically you put something over God. And the translation of that, the deeper meaning is, how does it become that something that's supposed to be a blessing become a curse?
Ooh.
Or how is it that something that's supposed to be so helpful to me, and I mean, you can relate across the board, whether it's like a bad relationship, whether it's you eat too much candy and you got cavities now, whether it's food is so good to you, but all of a sudden your back is big. And you can't move.
That's funny. We haven't said big back on the show yet.
What?
So that's the first.
Y'all haven't said big back?
No, we have not
big
said
back activities.
Yeah. Oh man, I should be writing this down for the next show.
I'm silly.
That's what's up. No, this is good stuff. All right, so Instagram and idolatry, which is I never seen those two words together.
Yeah.
So it definitely brought me in.
I wanted I developed the title. It's amazing. Cameron Monet, Toy Monet. Hey girl. We're two bald content creators, agency owners, and we came up with it just because low key, and a lot of people don't talk about it, but so many people are literally addicted to Instagram app or waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, checking it first thing in the morning, or you may not get as much interaction on a post and piece like that, and you get a little discouraged, or you're seeing other people living these glorious lives and you feel like yours isn't good enough. And it's so all these different layers that you sort of put forward, and they block out the things that are really important, like spending time with loved ones, like the fact we have food and a roof over our head, like the fact we can walk around and for most part, be in walking condition. Those are still graceful and beautiful things, even if the internet sometimes doesn't glorify that.
And so how does a person, I feel like saying, I got this friend, he had just posted something that was supposed to be fire. And it's like I come back. I mean, he said he came back an hour later, and it's as if nobody sees it, nobody recognizes it. So how do you get over that feeling that if nobody likes your post, it's almost like nobody likes you? How do you get through that thing?
That's good. I can't remember. There was an influencer who said something like this to me, but if 5 people walked up to you and said, "Hey man, Brother Washington, I like your shirt." Somebody else walks by, Hey brother Washington, wow, that's a cool shirt you got on. Hey Brother Washington, I like that hat. Hey Brother Washington, you a bad mamma jamma. Wouldn't you feel kind of good about yourself?
I feel great. I'm starting to feel great right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jody, who? Hey, get him out of here.
So 5 likes would be considered a win in person. So why can't we take that data and just transfer it over? So that's what I encourage myself and say. It doesn't matter if 100, even though I want 10,000, it doesn't matter if 100 people or 5 people like my posts or pieces like that. Is God happy? Cool. Okay. Am I happy? Bet. That's all I need.
Okay. Wow. When did you start on your journey to thinking different? Because this is kind of, what you're saying is kind of different. Your outlook is kind of different. When did that thing happen with you?
I think when I started to figure out what type of life that I wanted to live. So I was in LA in the entertainment industry, and I've always been really heavy on faith. My faith is super, super, super important to me. But also I'm a lot of a realist. And so being in LA and interviewing the most amazing, incredible celebrities you could think of. I mean, seeing Denzel on carpets or, touching shoulders with Oprah. I didn't do that yet, but
okay, all right.
Pieces like that. But at the same instance,
that's awesome.
Being very, very below the poverty line and checking on food stamps and scrubbing toilets and walking dogs and being like, I'm living this glamorous life. And to everybody's congratulations and clapping every time I post a picture with a celebrity, but I'm kind of miserable and I'm very poor. And so I want to, 1, get money in real life.
Yeah.
2, shed light and kind of let people know there's a duality to the process of life, whether it's interviewing celebs and red carpets or being on TV. And then 2, oh shoot! So you pulled up the picture, it threw me off. Yeah. And then 3, I guess the other piece is just like I want to have fun in real life. So yes, I love social media. I love getting on there. I love posting content, but like in real life, I also want to be straight.
Okay. Speaking of content, we also found that you have a 7-day content.
I'm gonna relaunch this
challenge. What is it, or what was it, and why is that needed? Because we're gonna do it.
Period.
All right, yeah, we're gonna do it.
Has anyone said period on here yet?
Not yet.
Big period. Y'all standing on business.
All right, thank you. All right, I think, but yeah, that's it. We are standing on business. All right. So, why is there a need for a 7-day content refresh challenge?
Yes, because still things won't grow. You got to plant some seeds, and every now and then you got to shake things up. So sometimes that looks like different content and getting new ideas to put things together, and sometimes that looks like just changing things up so it's not the same all the time.
Well, I've got
stagnant.
Well, I come from a generation that we say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I've come from a generation where a lot of us are stuck in our ways. So for some of us older people, how can we trust that, change, is okay?
Well,
it's hard for us.
It is hard. And I'll pull it from faith, but I'll take it from the organization perspective.
Okay, let's get it.
10 years ago, you all created this organization because I listened, because you demanded that there would be radical change.
That's correct.
And you aren't afraid to shake things up or make people uncomfortable in order to invoke that radical change, right?
Right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So if you can do that with your organization that you all are very passionate about, that you have kept alive for 10 years, that you've breathed even life into the podcast, and it's got all these different pockets, then why wouldn't it be okay to shake things up in your own life? Why would progress and evolution only be limited to an organization as opposed to how you feel in real life? You gotta walk what you say and what you preach about. So that means you can't be afraid of change.
Well, Jody owed me $5. Yeah, that's true. And
why does he owe you $5?
Because how some people will say, well, she's not going to say anything about that. Well, I told you she was. And also, this is also a older person clinic too, because No, I'm talking to the people. I'm Jody I'm talking to the people out here
Oh my goodness,
that are going to hear this, that are up in age, that we can change.
Absolutely.
It is okay that we leave some of those things, as we say in our guiding principles, leave some of those things behind that no longer serve us. So there are some traditions that may no longer be needed. There's some thought processes on what a real man is that might have to, be set to the side. That a real man isn't nurturing. We're supposed to be hard all the time. We don't smile. You don't cry. You don't show affection. So a lot of us have grown up with some very limited tools, and listening to you talk to us about changes is really important. So we thank you for that. It made me think about, have you ever considered going on the lecture circuit, or is that something that you already do?
That's so funny, especially with the classes and with the courses. God has really just been on me about like teaching. Like in this season, I kept trying to. Of course, I talk about my business a lot, darling. A lot. Matter of fact, follow toymonetagency.com.
That's
you can
right.
Check us out on Instagram Live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. CT time to talk Instagram and idolatry. But yes, I think that one, I like to talk, but also two, I think I have a bit of an anointing, a bit of a gift when it comes to sharing information and perspectives. And I don't mind sharing that with people. Plus also, I feel like free game is important. Like I actually, and I'm going to get a little bit more into it. I'm going to launch my own podcast soon, but talking about faith, finances, and just like everything in between. But I feel like, so people have a tendency to they turn money into this thing where it's just like, wealth acquisition is only necessary or important for billionaires, or Black people can't get money, or investments don't work for African-American community, or pieces like that. Or like people are just going to use it to buy chains and stuff like that. I know.
Wow.
I too have heard it. But I believe that we can create and live lives of abundance, and that looks different for everybody. So I'm going on a tangent a little bit here.
No. We started with Instagram and idolatry.
Yes.
Now we're into faith and finances, and these are some concepts that I've never heard, put together like that.
Oh, heck yeah.
And if you are going to launch a podcast, if you like to use this space as a testing ground, so we got Toys World. George looking like, you can't do that. All right. But just imagine every 2 weeks from 6:45 to 7:05, Toy talks about faith and finances and how we could put those two things together, kind of, cut your teeth on how your flow. Yeah, how your flow is going to be, and then you could watch yourself later on and say, okay, I look like this, I sound like that, so that when you launch your own podcast, you can kind of have your stuff together. And how do we benefit? We benefit from having smart looking people on our show,
benefiting the culture.
Oh, that's right. So consider that, and also.
I'm gonna stop dancing. They're gonna think I'm a silly lady.
It's all good because we look, at one point, if we can't have a light moment, and that's one of the things that Jody and I pride ourselves on, because when we started doing this within the protest community and activist culture, every day you're mad. Every day you're upset about something. I'm like, come on, bro. You can't be just upset. It's
giggle.
It's 8 a.m. You just do not wake up. Either that or you're faking it. So self-care also means that we find some comedic spaces about the lifting our people up. There is some funny sides to the revolution, and how we're talking now is natural, and I love it. All right. I love it. I wanted to ask you about, are you also considering a book?
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm not going to tell you the title, but I have considered a book, a story that needs to be written, because I feel like I'm very diverse. And I think I don't even know if you're going to get to this question, but you had asked about self-care.
Yeah.
Part of being well, and I say that because you can catch Being Well August 25th at 8 p.m. only on BCAN, which I'm actually the show host of.
That's what's up.
Self-care is so important to me because I think before you can pour into anyone else's cup, you have to pour into your own. And sometimes that looks like taking vacations or like chilling with loved ones. And sometimes it's just saying no to plans and going to sleep.
That's right.
I love self-care.
All right. That's what's up. All right. Lastly, is that what you do for self-care? I work on being unavailable. That's a skill set too. All right. I don't have to show up at every protest.
Yeah.
I don't have to show up at every riot. Hey, I'm gonna take this riot off. All right. I'll show up next week.
But I got y'all next week. I'm cool.
Right, for the next week. Right. And that's one of the things that I do is just not be available. Put my life on airplane mode. All right. I mean, everybody else does.
That's a good practice.
And we're the only ones that show up for everybody, and do everything for everybody. But you can't expect the same in return. So sometimes I've got to be unavailable. Sometimes they're going to have to speak to the voicemail. All right. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to explain myself. I'm just not available. All right. And I'm good with that. I know who I'm available for. There's maybe 2 or 3 people that, I'm going to be available for no matter what. But the rest of y'all don't stand a chance. All right. And that keeps me, involved in this movement. It keeps me active, and it keeps me from what they call compassion fatigue or burnout, because you can easily have burnout.
That's important.
From the things that we talk about. And later on, we're going to get into Cy and Massey. But if we weren't well enough, we wouldn't be able to engage that conversation, with respect. So we talked about self-care. Now we're going to talk about gratitude, Toy Creel, and gratitude. Can you list 3 things that you're thankful for? What would your 3 things be?
I am thankful for the favor and the grace of Jesus Christ. I am thankful for my sweet, sweet baby boy, my son, and everything from his breath down to his little voice, and for his grace. Kenzo shows me a lot of grace, especially like just being 3. He's very intuitive and sweet and all the things. And I'm also grateful for freedom. I really live a different life that I think a lot of people don't subscribe to. I do a lot. I'm pretty busy.
You said I'm grateful for freedom.
Yes.
All right. What does freedom
means
like
choices?
Man.
It means choices. It means like being able to decide where I go, what I do, how I do it, what organizations I can participate in and be a part of.
That's all.
It doesn't mean I can do everything, because I think that's worn me out in doing that, and I don't want to be worn out. But it means that I'm responsible for making the sacrifices to be able to show up in different spaces, and I'm so grateful for that. I love choices.
Beautiful. All right. If someone is watching this right now and they're like, wow, how can I get in touch with her? What are some of your Instagram, X, Facebook, or what are some of your handles? Because apparently they didn't load them up in the software. They just loaded up the pictures, which is kind of creepy. But anyway, it is what it is. So how can someone follow you on your social media platforms?
Yeah, they can give me a follow at Toy to the World on Instagram, TOITOTHEWORLD, Toy to the World. You can follow me on my Facebook account, Toy Creel. You can pretty much Google and my name will pop up because there's no other Toy Creel. But you can also give if you're interested from a social media side, you can follow me at Toy to the World. Wait, you can go to our website, the agency website, which is toymonetagency.com. TOIMONETAGENCY.com.
Would you consider you've got a lot of stuff going on?
I do.
And it's all good. I love the energy, because that's what we need. All right, we need that type of thing because that's who we are, and it's awesome. It's also awesome to have some feminine energy here too. I know Jody was saying we need women. Like,
you need women's. Right. Where are the women's?
Okay, all right. So, would you consider coming back and either talking about faith and finances, the ability to where you are in your book, or where you are in your in the process of you taking this on maybe the speaker, speaker route? Because I'm listening, and you're easy listener. It's easy to listen to because you really put us. You allow us to lower our defenses, and you don't talk down to us.
Yeah, we're all the same.
Yeah, okay, that's what's up. You make us feel just as important as Denzel and Master P and all
duh, you are. Wow. Jody Joe, Brother Washington.
Wow. What? Oh man, see there, Jody. Oh man, you can have your $5 back. Yeah. Well, all right. Before we roll out with our next commercial, anything else you think we left out?
No.
Wow. This has been awesome. This is Toy Creel. We expect we expect to tune into Instagram in idolatry. Follow her on the Beacon network. Learn about the arts and culture, and follow her wherever she is. This has been an awesome interview. Family, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it. We have to breathe it. We have to do it. We have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable. more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Seconds off.
Yeah, we're back on now. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we're probably the only ones where now we got two screens going right now. All right, neither one of them are right. Hey, listen, this is CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library, where they always roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us. What I wanted to do, Jody, before we get into community shout outs and solutions, I want to talk about our upcoming event.
Okay.
That's happening this Saturday. If you are familiar with our sister Sonia Massey and her murder, we want you to show up. We need to hold law enforcement accountable. So what are we going to do? We're going to be at Junction Park. That's the corner of Nebraska and Junction. This is going to be Saturday, August 3rd. And we're going to speak truth to power. We're going to embrace each other. Maybe have some meditation and prayers for each other. And also we're going to talk about some resources, because most times when we come together and talk about difficult situations, we hardly ever, Jody, talk about, okay, what are some of the things that we can do now? Right. So we're not going to just use this as an opportunity to talk about what's wrong. Well, it is. What happened to her should not have happened
at all.
It's wrong. Even though the person is being charged, that sentiment and that vibe run through law enforcement.
training and
Yes.
mental health wellness.
Right. And somebody might say, well, it's not all of them, but it's enough of them that's created this problem. It may not be all of them, but it's enough that created this problem of sending police officers from one department to the next, to the next, to the next.
No evaluation. That's
right.
I think that's one thing, and again, that people forget through all the protests and the defund this. We're really asking for safer officers, for safer streets. I mean, we pay you to protect us. We expect you. When we call, we're not the ones that become the victim at the end of the case.
At the end of the day, you tell us that if we see something, say something, and when we see it and say it, we end up dead.
Yeah.
All right. Now that doesn't make sense. You can't make it make sense. So we want everyone to show up, bring some signs, bring yourself. We're gonna reflect on our sister. We're gonna reflect on our own community, and also we're going to lift some of those up in our community that's making it a safe and decent place to live. So if you do come, think about some of those men and women in our community that's in doing direct service with our young people, doing direct service with our elderly, that's making our community a decent place. And we also going to lift them up too. So that's this Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2:30. We're really not trying to, make this something that it's not. All right. We're there at 1 o'clock. We're wrapping up at 2:30. Come on out, fellowship with your people, show some love. And at the same time, we're going to hold local leadership accountable. So I just wanted to make that clear. All right, Jody. Now also, last week we had She Speaks on.
Yep.
And I don't know if we had enough time to really process what happened the week before, which was the African American prayer breakfast. It was the Glass City. Yeah, the Glass City Center.
Yeah, at the Glass City. Wait.
Oh, it's Huntington.
At the Huntington. That's what happened when you don't update the week up. But so last week was, or week before last, because last week I was actually doing another performance at the Harmony House. But the week before last was the African American Festival weekend.
Yeah.
That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because Friday is the honorees and the people that know us and stuff. That's this big giant head behind me. It's very weird, even though I have been entertainment and I've been doing this for a decade and even longer behind the scenes, it's still, when the moments come up where it's like my name and lights or all that stuff is as Tori, I believe she said that, was saying, if I get 5 likes in one day, imagine that on the street. Imagine just a couple hundred people coming up to you and stuff.
Yeah, that was good stuff, what she said.
And as an entertainer, it can get overwhelming or just kind of curious, because I guess you can call it my business. A lot of people are not truthful or real like that. They want to see other people saying, hey, I know that person. And when you become that person that everybody wants a selfie with or stuff like that, it can be draining. Even if they're saying amazing stuff, it's just like, I've said thank you, like, to the last 30 people, and it doesn't feel like I'm being genuine to me on the outside or whatever, to me, that I'm being genuine, but that part of it too can get overwhelming, I want to say.
Okay. Now let's tell us about this picture in the back, because normally we have the protest signs, some of the stuff that we did, but we've got this huge picture. All right. What's up with this picture?
So this is one of the pictures that were picked for the breakfast, the prayer breakfast. There were 10 of us that were honored this year, and everybody had one of the pictures that they sent in to be blown up. Me being in the industry forever, I have lots of selfies, or not selfies, but these are most of my shots, honestly, to tell the truth. I don't really have a headshot, because all of my stuff is more so action shots when
Yeah.
I'm on stage or performing. My current profile picture now is from the Huntington Center. So that was just like one of the ones I randomly picked on. I think I sent him like 30 or 40. And then I let Cesar, who did an amazing job again of collecting everything, of keeping us on time, it was really the process for the African American Award started honestly back in February.
Wow, that's awesome.
I found out in March, and all that time you also have to kind of micromanage things. You can't tell everybody what's going on and stuff like that. And then the details come and making sure 3,500 people attended. Now that is again just the Huntington Center and ticket sales and door sales and stuff. There was a lot of people out at the march. There was a lot of people,
That's right.
and sponsors, people that couldn't make it. So when people get on and say, "Oh, it wasn't well attended," well, where were you? As an irritator, that's my diva side in a sense of I'm not necessarily looking for the people who are not there. I'm so focused on the people who are, because that's a lot to say in even just showing up. Even if you stand in the corner, don't be taking pictures of me like that. But still, even if you stand in the corner and never see or we don't interact, I appreciate you for being there, because you could be any place in the world, but you chose to be here at that moment, that time, and I enjoyed it.
All right. So when we talk about community shout outs and solutions, I talked about Sonia Massey and how we're meeting up at the at Junction Park, corners of Nebraska and Junction.
I'll be there at 2. I get off at 2, depending on how Saturday is.
All right. We'll from 1 to 2:30, Nebraska Junction. What are some of the things that you've seen that's going on that you think people need to know about?
All right, there's a lot. I'm going to start off with some interesting, maybe happy news, maybe not for the world and stuff like that, because I don't watch TV, newspapers, or anything. Like I get all my stuff from social media or interactions from things I met. But I did see Snoop carrying the Olympic torch. I know they're going on right now. Again, I don't watch TV, so I don't know all the details, but I've seen that, and that's kind of was like a thing that's not supposed to happen. With all the bad stuff in the world, if you could think 20, 30 years ago, would you have ever seen a hip-hop artist of any era or genre doing something that represents the world?
Nope. No, you wouldn't.
Regardless of what shape it was in.
You wouldn't. But you're right. You're right.
And then I've seen the controversy, and it keeps popping up in my timeline because of the algorithm and stuff. Something about the ceremony, and I saw a blue guy, and people were supposedly mad about that. But even in school, I studied history and Greek mythology and stuff. A lot of people get, I think, emotional about what we see nowadays and forget history is really messed up. Like, you go back, less than a generation, you'll find some stuff that you definitely don't agree with now. But so that's one of the things I've seen with the Olympics going on. And locally here, there's a whole actually bunch coming up. I'm doing a specialty reel because every now, I think I'm probably one of the only people, when I look on social media, I've seen one that you stopped at this post and you could have the algorithm or whatever, but that just does community stuff. Yes, I do my poetry and let you know when I have some books or some new crystals or an event, but I like to share everybody's stuff. So far I have found 9.
That's what's up.
9 going book bag giveaway community fundraiser events between August 2nd and the 28th. And I'm going to start throwing them up more on our page. There's been a few if you go to our page and see them and stuff like that. I know I'm personally, and we have sponsored Hoodstock this year, which is going to be the 11th. We got that going on too.
Right.
That's on the screen for the park gym. And there's also the wellness walk that day. But yeah, August is last month of summer is definitely going to be jam-packed with all kinds of events. The park jam has actually turned into a weekend with yoga and a couple of other things I've been seeing, trying to repost them as much, because one thing too, when I meet new artists and stuff, when I do things, go to arenas or get awards, I become an alumni. When Toledo Repertoire does something from now on, I'll share as much as I can, because it might have been out of my blind side before, but now I'm an alumni. When I credit union shares something, when the Doug shares something, when the city of Toledo or the library or the museum shares something, because I've done programming with them, I'm always going to be like that alumni. That's, hey, I did it.
That's right.
I may never win it again, even at a show or a venue, but I'm going to share and support that person.
All right. Also, there was something else I wanted to share. I'm listening to you. I turned my brain off. Oh, I also wanted to share that. Where's that at? Oh, the Black Men's Wellness Day. That is going to be
that morning.
Right. The same morning of the R&B.
Yep.
Right. That's on August 17th. Now that's 7 a.m. So I should be
you go get checked out, make sure you're good to parties. Nobody
right.
go be on
There
the
you
grass,
go. That's what I wanted to
falling
say.
down, talking about my knee.
I need some milk. Right. So yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm glad you mentioned that. So we've got a whole day of first making sure that you're healthy. And then we've got the later on, we have the R&B in the strictly R&B park jam. So for people my age, first go get checked out, see if you healthy enough to party, then go to the park jam. If you're not healthy enough to party, just go there and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, they still got seats, I believe, as the whole promotional team and everybody. I've been seeing flyers, I've seen billboards have been putting up. There might still be a discount, $10 discount on everything, but I will go to the Eventbrite page and check that out. Make sure you get your tickets, so you can't be one of those people standing outside of the gate like, well, it wasn't even that great. Yeah, sometimes you gotta come inside.
That's right. That's what you get.
But I guess because did you have some stuff that you went to last week?
You know what? My whole life has been really just arranging this community vigil.
Okay.
I've tried my best to kind of keep quiet, figuring out what we're going to do, and my focus. That is my focus. Oh no, and also every weekend we've really been picking up the pace. And when I say we, myself and some of the brothers of the Nation of Islam, we call ourselves the FOI. That means Fruit of Islam. And every Saturday you'll see us out with the Final Call newspaper. This week's edition, I think it's Sheila Lee Jackson. I don't want to mess up.
You know what? That's why it's good to have your own radio show, because you can do stuff like this.
Yeah, watch this. Watch it. First, for a minute, both of us are here, and now it's just okay. All right. Sheila Jackson Lee. Wow, man, I was hoping that I wouldn't get my sister's name wrong. She had recently passed. So get this issue of the Final Call newspaper, or as our commercial says, that you can get it on Final Call digital.com and just get your Final Call, digitally. But you'll see the brothers out. We're making sure that we're out more. So my whole weekend is soldiering with the brothers. But this weekend we're going to be at Junction, Nebraska, Junction Park. Our sister Sonia Massey. We got to hold them accountable. Somebody got to do it. And if you look on the bottom of our flyer, and a big shout out to our sister Kim Cardell.
Yes, it's always good to shout out graphic people and stuff like that. Cause
this sister is the truth when it. Let me get that bar so we can see the sponsors at the bottom. We've got, what do we got at the bottom? There's Defund the Police, Black Lives Matter, CSRN, Justice or Else. You cannot lose. All right. There are no 4 stronger things right now. All right. So you already know what it is when you see Black Lives Matter, CSRN, Justice or Else, defund the police. All right. So you know we're not playing. You know we've already picked a side. All right.
You know what you're coming to. We're not doing no surprise, anything like that.
No, man, and I appreciate we appreciate you, Kim, and I think it's Sunshine Graphics. I think that's the name of the business. If I get it wrong,
I'll have to put that on the scroller next week. Make
Yeah,
sure people know.
that's what's up.
You always need work in this economy and environment, and it's good to bring people into rooms that they're not there, where they could possibly get opportunities and stuff like that. We know that people, even if they aren't currently watching right now, they go back and watch. And we hear about in the streets, I have people who never like, comment, or anything come up to me during parades like, "Hey," quoting my whole post. And it's like, well, at least I know you're listening, regardless of all the stuff. Because yeah, that does get hard. Toy mentioned a lot of stuff. Being an entertainer, I do have a taxable. Besides all the boards and writing books and creating art and everything like that, I still have given myself a way to obligate my life to, paying bills, to make sure things are paid off when grants or funding or stuff doesn't come through, because it's life. Things happen. So when I don't get a concert that would pay, like way back in the day,
That's right,
but would pay a bill, I would have to find a way to make it up. Now I can make crystals and stuff like that and give it away, but it's all responsibilities. Going backwards though,
go ahead,
to some stuff from last week that you might have missed until I go into this week real quick, because right now I'm also doing rehearsals for the Reinvest Power Tour. Dates and stuff and all that information is going to come out. Is going to be a 4 shows, couple of dates with different entertainers and performers, letting you know about the process of voting, getting out to vote and doing all that good stuff, because it's less than 90 days, I think, away from then. But between our show last week and this week, there was a couple of events going on that I have in my little Rolodex of things people invite me to that sometimes I wish I could go to. But we had the TARDA Experience and Act Information Night. That was at 5605 Monroe, Sylvania. That was, I believe, one of the libraries. And they were talking about TARDA and probably a whole bunch of stuff that can change the experience. I know I'll be joining the advisory commission next month. So another hat to put on my thing, because I do ride the bus. I choose public transportation, carpooling over another expense in my wallet that would not let me be able to do something as simple as Dunkin' for donations or Hoodstock or give back. Instead of that car payment, I buy kids book bags.
That's what's up.
But that's me personally. That doesn't have any role on anybody else's life. There was the July's Professional Networking Mixer at 23 North Summit. There was the Bender Weekend with Insane Poetry. I actually got to meet Insane Poetry, because it's an entertainer.
Oh, that's his name, Insane Poetry?
Yep.
Okay.
Insane Poetry, and then a few other people, Malachi LLC, but got invited to the gathering. For people that don't know what the gathering is and stuff like that, if you ever heard the term Juggalo or ICP or any of that, all that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Go out and like Burning Man or stuff like that. But yeah, I get invited to that stuff. And I enjoy it.
They didn't call me. All right. Hey, it is what it is. All right.
And then people see me there and they feel safe. Like people go to raves and foam cella and stuff like that, because they saw me, my hat there bobbing up in the bubbles, but because it's fun for me. We had the open mic night at Harmony House, which benefits all proceeds and benefits went to I'm just gonna pull that up real quick, because it was just a whole bunch of stuff that happened, but that was part of Hype 2.0 to benefit that nonprofit, and it was a beautiful event. Lots of poets came out, a lot of stuff came out. You can see some of it on my page, or some other stuff floating around about it. Hopefully we'll get to do it again. I actually got to meet Courtney Owens for the second time, because a couple of years ago, me and her were the only two, and hopefully maybe there'll be more, but poets to speak in the State House, the rotunda of the State House. We got to speak with Survivor Speak, which in September we're going to DC to speak to Congress and all that stuff on everything like that. So shout out to Anton
That's
Parks and even Daisha Darby. Good people to know. And then I guess we're going into the coming up stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see what's coming up, at least that I've been notified or people have invited me to. I don't believe I have anything this week other than rehearsals for the Power Tour, which we're doing that like twice a week. So today there was, and I'm sorry I missed you, Run Single Rose, again for last 4 years, or really the last 10 years. If anything happens on a Tuesday between the hours of 6 and 8, I'm unavailable unless it's election.
Yeah,
during it,
that's
because I'm
right.
an election official. So
And we got one coming up.
We do have one coming up.
I'm just letting them know, just in case you didn't know.
Like all those little gears clicking in my head and stuff, but I enjoy it. I wouldn't want to be anything else in life but what I am now. So that was today, the writer's workshop and performance at Birmingham Branch Library. If you are from Toledo and you ever wonder what those little ducks mean on the Jeeps.
The little duckies.
Yeah, I kind of get it, but then I don't. But so this week from August 1st through August 4th is Jeep Week, where you'll see all things related to Jeep in Toledo and stuff like that. Downtown Toledo will be bustling. If you got a Jeep and you park it downtown at any point in time, you might wind up with a few dozen ducks on your stuff. So if you're trying to collect, I'm not really sure how that goes, but if you're trying to collect them, come downtown and enjoy all the festivities of Toledo Jeep Fest 2024. And that, I believe, is the only thing I have on my calendar coming up until we come back next week.
All right. Now, I'm CD. If you're watching us, I got to put this in our search.
Okay.
It's Ohio Unity. Let me see. It's ohiounity.org.
ohiounity.org. For anybody that likes to listen to the captions, I'll say that again, ohiounity.org.
Let's see. Let me click on this because I got to share it. I told her that I was going to, right. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to share this because I am a man of my word, and I did not want this podcast to be over.
Be written proof. We didn't
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I got video proof. You can talk about it.
Yeah. All right. So this is the ohiounity.org, encouraging everyone to get out and register. All right. They're planning that over 158,000 voters purged.
Yeah.
So make sure that you
check if you moved, if you've had any changes to your address, just kind of if you did not vote in the last presidential election.
That's
you
right.
Only vote during presidential elections. There's so many rules and laws and gerrymandering that's been done since 2020. You should check because when you come as a poll worker, I can tell you this. When you come to us and you be like, oh, well, I voted like 5 years ago and we can't find you, that is something we can't fix right then and there. So I would check as early as possible if you plan on voting. What did they say? October 7th?
Yeah. And right. You must register or update your voter registration by October 7th.
And if you are, because that's something that's been going around too. If you are going to be 18 on election day in November, then you can register. So if you're 17 now and you want to be a part of this electoral process and everything, go by October 7th and register.
Yep. So get involved. Thank you, CD, for sharing this with us. And Jody, when you were talking, it reminded me, oh no, we need to share this. We had, I think also we had PD Talley from the Ohio Unity come on maybe last year to help get out the vote for one of the elections. And family, we just want you to be a part of the process. However you vote, that's on you. All right. Trust me.
Have a voice, be heard.
Trust me. Be a part of the process.
Don't wait until there might not be no more elections.
Right. Somebody said that. It's the last time we're going to vote. Yeah. All right. Well, be a part of the process. Be a part of the local process too, not just the national. Be a part of your local and state decisions that are being made.
I would say focus more on your local and state decisions that are being made. Yes, the national is great, and I love our senators. Once we get past that level, I'm not speaking on any of that, but local is where you get your city streets fixed, where your taxes get changed. From county to county, things can change. So if you want more visibility for the elderly, the handicapped, you want that block fixed because it's been sitting there, the dilapidated houses, those are the people you go to, because when this is also mayoral year. So that's another thing people forget about, that we have somebody in office that might possibly should be changing for mayor, which decides who your police chief are, the fire chief, and so on and so forth locally. So if you have an issue with somebody, that is where you start.
That's right.
With the president, you got to start with your mayor and then work your way up from there. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Hey, let's, and lastly, what is it on? I think it's on August 10th. We're going to show up again at City Hall. They're still in that discussion to get a tank.
Yeah.
And the Blade reported that, I think it was the mayor that said that they were going to paint it with some colorful colors.
It's going
to
be
make it look friendly. Truck. Right. But it's a tank. It's a tank, not a rainbow truck. But they do want to paint it.
Comparing wooden bullets in peace.
Man, come on. So right now I'm meeting with a few community concerned citizens on this matter, and we're going to share some information on how we want you to show up, how many we need to show up. This is a horrible idea. All right. A horrible idea. No, they're not going to use this to rescue me from my backyard. Right. That's right.
That's about all it will be used for. Right. On LaGrange. Okay.
That's what's up. Hey, let's pay some bills, and then we're going to get into 5 minutes of heat.
Yep.
Do we run through all of the
We ran through all the stuff coming up for the next week. Again, August is going to be a very busy month, and follow our page because I'll be throwing as many. If you have any events that's going on locally that I haven't been able to see, just tag CSRN, tag me. I can't say tag Brother Washer because I don't know all the stuff he's got going on his page. But for me, I'm more than welcome to let me know what's going on for the back to school, because again, as a parent, as that time is coming. So school doesn't get any cheaper in a year. So if you need some assistance, don't be too proud to come to one of these events. Totaling, from what I've seen, there's about 15 to 20,000 book bags going out.
That's
full of stuff and different things, different programs between August 2nd and August 28th.
That's right. All right. If you like what we do, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube and share it and make a comment. We are striving to get at least 100,000 subscribers. Are we on the way? Yeah, yes. We're on the way. All right.
We got more than one person.
That's right. We got more than, like Troy said, if we got 5 people, all right, we're doing good. And we got a few more than 5. So we want you to like, share, comment, register, subscribe, and hit the link. I'm saying register to vote.
When we get the 100,000, we could do the paid subscriptions. That'll never happen.
Okay.
I don't know why those words came out of my mouth.
That's all good. It's all good. Hey, wishful thinking. If you want to get some of the Black Lives Matter signs, you can hit us up on our inbox. And we still have our Black Lives Matter signs, and our Defund the Police signs is still up on Dorn Smead. That's what's up.
Good.
On Saturday, join us. We should have a few more of the Defund the Police signs up. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on X. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App, hashtag CSRN 419, and PayPal CSRN 419. I think that's it, Jody. I think we're probably waiting to hear what are we going to do for 5 minutes of heat.
Yep. So today's 5 minutes of heat is going to be a piece called Distant Peaks. I think I've done all of the stuff this year. I've got about maybe around 200 more shows to do this year with the Power Tour and some other stuff. But the crescendo was the African American Festival for me. I've been working towards that for like most of my career, to have poetry on a main stage where you would see artists and other stuff like that, because we are just important. Music isn't music without lyrics. So we are the ones that provide the lyrics to that as poets. And I'm going to read this piece versus perform this piece. If you know it, it's one of those ones that I performed on the steps of the Toledo Museum of Art as a way to, you know, help people that are going through stuff. So, yeah, Distant Peaks. So let's begin. Peace. Trying to find ways to sit, yes, sit on this mountain just a little bit longer. Enjoy the view for a little while before having to climb back down and scale another. But it's never, no, never that easy. You get to the top and start searching for others, with very few there to remind you, yes, remind you of why you climbed in the first place. You start questioning whether it was worth the effort, the scars, the heartache, the closed doors, and even the ones you opened for others that decided they didn't need you anymore. You look around the horizon for as long as you can, knowing the journey back down will be twice as treacherous, but a little bit faster. You ponder upon what the next valley will be. What will it teach you? How much stronger, yes, stronger could you possibly grow? What new adventures you'll go on, and who, yes, who will be there for your next peak? They seem to get smaller as you get older. The mountainous achievements that you once perceived as great and unscalable become the jagged peaks, yes, the jagged peaks that very few people see. Trying to find ways to sit on this mountain just a little bit longer, knowing that the next steps I make pushes those achievements behind me, because I have to move forward into the unknown where it is not safe, and yes, I have never gone before. But if I stay in this achievement, I will never learn to grow, holding on to past accomplishments and never, no, never seeing further than the place you decided to pause. Trying to find ways to sit on this mountain just a little bit longer, but I have ran out of ways. So now it is time to go, but it is never, no, never that easy. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. All right. Great job, Jody. And as always, we are in our 10-year victory lap of CSRN, 5 minutes of heat, speaking truth to power, welcoming our brothers and sisters on our platform to talk about them unfiltered. And that's something that you don't see often or really at all
anymore, because now people want to be opinionated or triggering or popping balloons or finding stuff to distract them. Because yes, the world is a very ever-growing, consistent, inconsistent place.
All right.
So a distraction is good sometimes, but if it becomes your routine, where are you growing to?
Right. And as we're growing, we learn and we understand that all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. and Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice Oils.